Hello, my name is Seth Brown, and I'm the Teacher Support Coordinator for Pitt County Schools. We're here today to talk about the KBT program, specifically for the 2016-2017 cohort. So what I'm going to do is, for most of the broadcast, is actually bring up a Google Doc that I have sent out to all the KBTs, the nominees for this year. So that way you have access to all of the links and everything that I'm going to go over. So that way it's a little bit easier for you to follow along as we go through this. It's supposed to be a presentation that, in a sense, gives you just a quick overview. And as always, if you have questions, my contact information is on that Google Doc. So please feel free to give me a call and let me know what I can do to help. So as you see on this document, the KBT program, the key stands for the keystone. So in other words, in the arches of the Roman times, as they built the aqueducts and their wonderful Roman Empire, or Republic, I guess I should say, the arch was a pivotal point in that. And really the keystone is not always the biggest stone, but it is the most important, because the keystone is the stone that keeps the support together. So we have four main blocks in the KBT program. And this diagram, in a sense, will guide what we're doing and what we're talking about today. So my contact information, of course, is here. That's my school cell phone. So KBTs, you're definitely willing to put that in your cell phone. If you need to text me, message me, let me know. That is certainly there for you. The first thing we're going to go ahead and click on is just the participants for this school year. So you'll have everyone's contact information, and this is your BT experience for this year. Now we will correct this and make sure all my information is correct. To be quite honest with you, it came from nominations, so we do have to make sure everything is cleaned up and correct. But I want to bring it down to the bottom here. So what this shows you is that for the 16-17 cohort, you guys are the third cohort. We have 15 teachers, pre-K through second grade. We actually have one pre-K teacher with us as part of this program. 3-5, of course, we have 12. 6-8 is 14. 9-12, we have 9 teachers. That's out of 6 schools, so that's good. And then EC, we do have 5 teachers scattered throughout the different grade levels. So if you take just the grade span teachers, add them up, we're going to be somewhere between 50 and 51 by the time everyone agrees and is nominated and takes care of everything. So that's a good number. It's about what we had this year. So that gives you a quick overview where to find everybody's name. The other thing that's important is, how are you nominated? It's important to note because in the design of the program, you were not technically, but you were each nominated by a teacher. So by a lead mentor, by another beginning teacher, by a former participant in the KBT program, or in the Teacher Leadership Institute, or the TLI program, which is another program we have for experienced teachers. That program builds off the KBT program. Your instructional coaches were invited to participate, and really any teacher in the county could nominate you. The principal did have final approval, to be honest with you, just to make sure that there were no performance concerns with any teachers. But ultimately, know that you were nominated because someone recognized that you are an effective, innovative, and creative beginning teacher that has helped them in their professional growth so far in your career. So that's the first part. And you can feel free to take a look at that, pay attention to it as we go along. The next thing I definitely want to bring up is our website. It's the KBT page. Now, you'll notice this is the Pitt County Schools Teacher Support website. And on this website, you'll notice it by the hot air balloons. You always know it's there. You can get to this website from the Pitt County Schools homepage, and on the site shortcuts, you'll see one to begin in teacher support. At different places, it's also listed as teacher support. So either way, it gets you to the same place, and as long as you find the hot air balloons, you're good to go. Across the blue, these are more resources for admin, mentors, and also for my KBT. So I clicked on this page here, and this brings up the KBT program. I will bring up here that this page or this menu on the left in red is more for my beginning teachers. We will work extensively with this link here, which is the Google Drive. That's part of the resources. But this page is more for teachers. The top page is more for people with specific roles helping the beginning teachers. And you guys are one of those people. The main thing is people ask, so what's this program? What's it about? So the mission is very straightforward and to the point. It's to engage and empower our innovative, creative, and effective beginning teachers as collaborative leaders. And when the Pitt County Schools Educational Foundation was first brainstorming with me on this program, and they funded the program the first 2 years, by the way, one of the things that we talked about is that it's amazing at what happens when we put innovative, creative, and effective beginning teachers together in a room. Sometimes all we have to do is put you together in a room. And you will notice the last 2 years, the participants overwhelmingly said that collaboration was one of the most important pieces that we had. But the trick is it's not just random, chaotic collaboration. It's collaboration with a purpose. We use specific strategies, different specific protocols, and you will learn some of those that in the end will help you become a more highly skilled professional in strategies that you can also use back in your school with other beginning teachers. Because the key is when we talk about you being a collaborative leader, it's within the realm of other beginning teachers. And you're still early in your career. Don't expect you to go out and save the world yet. Okay, but do expect you to be an important leader within the realm of beginning teachers in your school and across the county. So the other thing, now this program down here, and this screen, by the way, is a little tight, so it's not quite as clean. It's normally 2 columns, but you will see the calendar, the proposed events, and I'll go through those a little bit later. But you can always find the calendar. When are the dates set? Right here. It's not completely solidified yet, so we do have some times and things for everyone. But this actually, let me take that back. This is for this year. So I will go over your dates for this upcoming year, but this is what we'll have updated. So you will know once everything is finalized where to find your dates. It's on this this website. So going back here, we will talk about the shared folder. The shared folder, I'm just going to show you here. It's on the website. So if you scroll down to the website, you will see we have pictures from the 2015 reception. We're getting ready to do the new reception this Thursday, the 26th of May. So you'll have some new pictures there. You'll have the participants from the prior 2 years. I will put your list there, so that way you'll always be able to find the names of the other participants. We have a folder that we recently made about our trip to Raleigh. We take a trip to the General Assembly, so there's some information that the KBTs from this year created and used. You can see it was just updated very recently. And so we have lots of information here for you. So that's another thing to look at a little bit and see. You can either click on this link and you can actually add that to your drive, or you can always find that on the website as well. And this program or this Google Doc here is a quick overview, a little bit more in detail about the program. So what I'm going to do is try to get this a little bit smaller so it's on your screen. I've already gone over the mission here, but you'll notice here, this is a timeline of what this looks like. So for example, we have a new beginning teacher, and this is what you've already done the prior years. You've worked successfully with other teachers, you've helped them out, then you're nominated in the spring, and that's what we just did. So you were notified because you were nominated by a teacher. Then during the summer, we have actually the beginning teacher induction for all first-time new teachers. We will get your help with that. We'll talk about. And that's actually half the day will be at the district training, which is at Rose High, and the half the day will be at the school. And I'll give you the dates for that. And then during the school year, we will actually this year have 4 meetings. One of those will be our trip to Raleigh. So we'll have 3 regular meetings working throughout the year, and then 1 trip to Raleigh as well. So really the key here is the 4 blocks of orientation, training, resources, and advocacy. So there's a little bit more about the program, but I won't read that. Definitely take a look at that because people will ask you, so what is this all about? So take a look at that. So here's a little bit. This is actually from last year, but it gives you a good update of basically what we're looking at. So during the orientation, and the orientation this year is August 17th. So I will update this. Basically, what we do is we talk about it's a words of wisdom and welcome. So in other words, we want to make sure that when beginning teachers start on the district level at Rose High, 3-day training orientation, and you guys have all been through this in Pitt County, that there is someone connected to the county, a successful, innovative, creative teacher to be there to welcome them. So if a school, for example, does not have a KBT, we invite another teacher to eat lunch with them. But then we have our KBTs are actually sharing ideas. Hey, if you had a chance to go back and tell someone something, this is where it's all about. So you get a chance to do that, and that's on Wednesday, August 17th. That afternoon, after we feed you lunch, it's a good lunch, I promise you that. Then from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, you were at the school. Same thing, August 17th in the afternoon. You were with your school lead mentor. So you will not create this, your school lead mentor will, but you can be there in a sense, their lieutenant or their sergeant, whatever the role is. If you're not able to come, you don't have to, but this is part of it is of this orientation. So you're the connection from the district level at Rose to the school level. And then when they have their first teacher work day, the very next day on Thursday, then you're there to make sure they're ready to roll. The other part of training, we will do our training throughout the year, and you will get a lot of strategies and ideas that will make you a better, hopefully you can use as a teacher in your classroom, but also when working with other beginning teachers. So throughout the school year, we have beginning teacher talks, and your role is to help talk to the school lead mentor. You can share ideas. Sometimes the instructional coach does this, sometimes the assistant principal. This is a monthly meeting each school has, and your role is to bring ideas back and to help facilitate that and help add to that meeting and make it stronger and more useful. The resources, I will show you the Google Drive, but basically we have a new teacher resource Google Drive. So all the things that you use that you have created that have helped make your life easier, the key is we ask you to share those in the Google Drive. You'll have access to edit that drive. And then basically what happens is, as you find new ideas from other really sharp people in the county, so you're a middle school teacher, you have a really good idea from another middle school teacher, and you ask, where do I find this? You can go to the Google Drive to click on Classroom Management. Here's what they do on Classroom Management, and boom, you have all the resources right there in the Google Drive. It's accessible to any teacher in Pitt County, but we really target our beginning teachers and try to get all the great resources we can into that drive. So we'll have some time during the training to add to that. Probably the most fun we have is going to Raleigh. We will do it in April of next year is the plan because of the long session. This year we're having to go in June because the General Assembly doesn't start really until May, and we're not going to go to Raleigh during testing season, so we're going to go in June. But you guys get to do it in April next year. This is really neat where we have the last 2 years have worked with Lee County teachers, so you get to collaborate with other teachers. You get to look at issues. You get to talk to a former state teacher of the year. You get to talk to the DPI lobbyist as well. So she got to come to Greenville this year and really open some eyes of how do we empower you as a teacher to advocate for the entire profession. So this document, and I'll get the dates right, apologize for that, but this document will give you a good idea of what's expected. The bottom line is, if you're really going to worry about this and what does it mean for me away from students or extra stuff, bottom line, we're talking about 3 days away from your school. In fact, I'm going to get right into that now. So here's the proposed schedule. Basically, it's every other month. So that should help. We're not going to meet you to death, but we are going to make a lot of those meetings. So we're going to get a lot packed in. It's going to be very structured, organized, and energetic time that we meet. The first one will be on Wednesday, August 17th. That's the orientation. That's where we are at Rose High in the morning, and then you will be at your individual schools with the beginning teachers in the afternoon. KBTs from the prior year will facilitate a morning session to get you ready. So that way you know what to talk about and how to get them organized. And then you'll have an hour and a half actually to talk with the beginning teachers, which is a good amount of time to really get them engaged and do some different things with them. But our key BTs from this year will help get you organized so you don't have to really worry about it. You just have to come in with the mindset of what would I really have liked to know as a brand new first day on the or third day on the job teacher to help make my life easier. So if you come armed with that knowledge that you've already experienced, then you'll be ready to go. Then we're going to skip a month, and the next day one training will be in October, on October 5th. And then we'll skip a month, and it'll be December 1st. So hopefully we're staying far enough away from the winter break so it's not too chaotic. The Educational Foundation, which has funded this program the last 2 years, normally has their annual meeting and a social. We've done it at Rock Springs the last 2 years. That's normally sometime in February, but I do not have a date for that because that is their meeting, not ours. But it's a really, really fun evening. So that's an after-school event. So day 1 and day 2 are during the school. Those are days we'll have subs, and the program provides subs for you. And then day 3 is our final day as we're getting ready for the General Assembly, and the final things is in February, February 9th. And then we will go to the General Assembly. Right now we're looking at about March 1st. That has to be finalized with the General Assembly, but that's the date that we have tentatively scheduled. Then in May, we'll have a celebration that is done after school. So the social and the celebration are both done after school. So basically, here's something just to make sure your payroll secretary knows is that I'm the contact for the professional leave forms, and we'll have 4 meetings during the year. So you don't have to worry about that right now, but in August, we'll go over this again, and sometime before the October meeting, I'll make sure you know what to do. And it's just a regular professional leave day. Here's the final loop, what we need to do before August 17th. So Wednesday, August 17th, this is the 3rd day of the beginning teacher training. Most of you should have come in while I've been part of this program, depending on what year you are. But this program has been at Rose this year and last year, and it was at Lake Forest before. So this is the day 3. So from 8:30 to 9:30. We'll have a facilitation brainstorming. So we will get together by grade spans, and we will work with key BTs from cohort 2, which is this year's key BTs will train you, just like they were trained by cohort 1. So that way, when we have this words of wisdom sharing and words of welcome, it's from 10 to 11:30 is when you're actually talking with the new teachers. We actually expanded this session to really give you more time because this was one of the most popular sessions we had. One of the more useful because doggone it, you guys know what's going on. So this is a really important time. We tend to break everyone up by grade span. I did not put pre-K down there, but pre-K normally goes on a separate session, so that way pre-K you'll be by yourself. In EC, based on numbers, we could technically have EC working separately, or we could have EC spread out in the grade span, and we'll work on that before we get there. So we'll have a plan for that. Just really is based on numbers and need. Then you guys will eat lunch with the new teachers, and it's a good lunch. We have a caterer come in who does a really good job with meals, so you'll be well compensated with food at least for that. And then from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, we have our school orientation, so that gives everyone time to go back to their school. Your school lead mentor is in charge of that, so that's something you can definitely touch base with them about. Just see what do they need you to do. Some honestly have it all together and are good, and you can just come if you want to, and that way you just are another person to provide another point of view. And you really just a good transition to welcome our new teachers into the school and really build some bonds and relationships that are neat. We'll tell you one story. Had a key BT from my first year in a high school, and she was a science teacher, a really, really good science teacher. And she happened to meet the next year a carpentry teacher, and I believe I'd like a computer CTE teacher. And she met them at this experience. And she said to me, she said, Seth, I never would have met them without this experience, without the Key BT program. And she was proud because at the end of the year, she actually talked and worked with the CTE teacher to help get computers in the lab. and worked with the carpentry teacher to help differentiate his classroom and really get it to the point where he was able to do some really neat things in the classroom. She owned it. She led, and she was a extremely helpful resource, all because we simply had really sharp people working with our new teachers, welcoming them and making sure that they're connected. That's really what this program is all about, and really what you have the opportunity to do this year. So again, this Google Doc, I will make sure you have it. And if you ever want to watch the YouTube preview again, or the overview, you can click on this link here and get to it. But that is basically it. My phone number, of course, is on that Google Doc. So please feel free to contact me, and on all my emails, the same school phone number is there. So if you have any questions, please let me know, but I welcome you and look forward to working with you this year. It's going to be a really, really cool year. Take care.